What's up, everyone? Get Coach Jake here, coming at you with the good, bad, and the ugly from this weekend food delivery. So I have some good stories for you, some bad ones, and some real ugly news and stuff to share as far as dealing with driver care for GrubHub. So I have a few things for all the platforms. First off, I want to start with the good. I had my biggest offer to date with DoorDash, right? So yes, DoorDash can be a horrible company for a lot of ways, but all of these gig companies have their pros and cons. So DoorDash still serves a purpose. They do have their pros, and I am coming at you video with pretty soon to talk more about DoorDash and their pros and cons. But anyhow, back to the good. So 26 items, as you can see right here. Check this out. I mean, real good offer, $9 payout, but I was pretty sure it was going to pay higher than guaranteed. I'm not going to tell why right now. Most of you that know, higher items, right? Kind of a no-brainer, but quality merchant. Anyhow, almost a $53 payout. So you can see right here, my car was loaded up. In the trunk, I had 3 bags. These cheesecakes were huge. They were like, I don't know, 10-inch by something. They were 10-inch cheesecake. That's right. 10-inch and 9-inch cheesecake squares. They were heavy and they were huge. So a good story about that. You all are going to laugh a little bit. Anyhow, then you can see in the front here, I had 4 bags. So I had that big giant GrubHub bag, right? The big one that I use, kind of the, what is it? The catering bag. I had a bunch of food in there. Then I had my 2 DoorDash bags. Those were full. And I had another GrubHub bag with some in there. And you can see all sitting up front. It was a lot of food. I carried all these out in one shot. So I have some long arms. So I was able to take those bags and line them up across my arm and carry them to the car. In that walk to the car, I mean, I walked pretty quick and my arms were burning a little bit. I won't lie. It's a good thing for being in shape. Anyhow, I knew it was going to be quite the task because once I hopped in and saw where it was going to a hospital. The directions were to come inside, go to a certain elevator, and then go up to the 2nd floor and then go to a certain unit and go to the front desk. I was like, oh boy. So the whole way there, I'm thinking, do I go and do this in one shot and be a hero, right? And be, you know, because it was a birthday. So as you saw on the one cheesecake, it said happy birthday. It was actually a patient that's a physician that was ordering all this food for somebody, one of the ladies there that works, one of the nurses, and all the other staff. Anyhow, I finally decided I'm not going to do it in 2 trips because I was thinking, okay, 1 trip up, let me get the food up there, let me get the hot items, then I go back down, grab the cheesecake, and bring that back up. But I was like, man, this is a birthday. I got to bring it all in one shot because it was just impressive. That much food and that much, I mean, so it was pretty cool. In the notes, it said that it was being sent for somebody's birthday. So I knew it was kind of a surprise and somebody's doing something really nice and special. So, you know, it's kind of a big deal when you walk in with all these arms and you carry all that cheesecake. I mean, 3 bags of cheesecake. You're talking 10-inch, 9-inch cheesecakes. Those things were heavy. I won't even lie. So I park. You get to park right in the front there. There's a valet spot, another spot where you can kind of temporary park. I go in. There's 4 elevators in that spot. I have to walk around to Starbucks and then there's all the elevators. They weren't right by the front door. My arm's already burning. I'm like, I set it up. When I pulled him out of the car, luckily there was this kind of bench sink thing. It was a stone thing with some lighting and all that. I was able to take some of the bags, set them up on there from the front, those 4 from the front, then go to the back in the trunk, grab those 3. I had all the cheesecake. I came back through, slid my arm in and grabbed all those. So luckily that deal was right there. It made it a lot easier. If I'd have had all of them trying to get the cheesecakes out of the trunk the way they were, it could have been a nightmare. Back to the elevators. So I'm walking up. There is a ton of people waiting outside of 2 of the elevators. So I'm looking, and up the top of them, it shows where the elevator's going, right? Whether it's coming up, going down, what floor it's at. The far to left where nobody's standing, one's at the ground level, coming up. So I know it's coming basically from the basement, if you want to call it, up to the 1st level. and the other one's coming down, and it's at like second floor. So I quick walk up over there to get in the front, knowing that those two were definitely going to beat out the two that were going up. So thankfully, everybody was standing by the two nearest elevators that were going up, and they're going to be waiting longer, allowed me to get to the front. That one from the ground level popped up and opened up. There's someone in there with a big old thing. I don't know if they were taking food. So I think it might have been one of those deals where we're taking like some fruit cups and juices or something like that. But that took up a considerable amount of the elevator right there. So I go in and I squeeze next to this person. I got all these bags, right? And I'm holding on for dear life. And I'm trying to press, like, somebody's like, I got the button for you, don't worry. And I was like, cool, thanks. Luckily, it was already pressed. I said, I'm good. The person who had the deals behind me was going to the second floor, and that's why I slid in next to them instead of going to the back of the elevator, where I'm going to have to make everybody try and get out of my way and create a freaking nightmare, right? A potential disaster. So I held it in. Door pops open. Boom. I'm looking up, and I asked the lady, where's that? What, you know, I don't want to say it out, the actual floor. But anyway, I asked for the specific place I was going to, and she goes, oh, it's over there. You got to walk around. Cool, no problem. So I walk around. And luckily, the boyfriend of the nurse that I was bringing it for, he's like, oh, that's for my girlfriend. I'll take you. He walks me around. He can't find her, right? And one lady's all, well, here's the break room over here. And I'm thinking, this guy's looking all around here. Doesn't work. She goes, my arm's on fire. They're lit up. And I'm like, this lady's showing me a break room. I'm like, hey, I'm just going to go over here and drop it in the break room, right? And he's like, go ahead. And so I follow her, and quick, I'm sitting down, the armful of cheesecakes. Barn was lit up, burning on fire. And then I set down the food, and I start to unload it all. Very nice, super cool. They even tried to offer me some cheesecake. But I got bad guts, man. I kept eating that stuff. I'll get sick. I actually have to do more dairy-free type stuff and a lot lower sugar. So I wish I could have. That cheesecake looked good, and there was all kinds of different types. Right here, I'll show you the list. You could see what all was there as far as they were ordering in those 26 items. I mean, all those huge cheesecakes, then all the food. Man, you talk about a good day, right? And a good birthday lunch. So anyhow, I guarantee some people were taking some of that cheesecake home. There was a lot of cheesecake and food. But back to the story. Got done. Great payout. I mean, it was almost $500 in food. But 10%, I'm incredibly happy and grateful for what I got. Of course, I would have loved to have seen an $80, $100 tip, right? Anybody would. I was actually thinking $80, which was about, 20% or so, 15, 20%. $53, I was super ecstatic. I earned my money on that one, though. I'll tell you what. 1 hour work, a lot of exercise. So you can call that a bonus right there. So I got a little bit of a workout within my food delivery. Now it's a little bit of the bad. Instacart, I shared a video recently on Instacart and the changes that they've made. I've heard that people that are actually rejecting those offers, so say that you get one and it's for a certain amount, and I mentioned that people are saying that it would go up, that as it got bounced around, it would go up a little bit in price. Like I think DoorDash does that with some offers. I heard GrubHub's also doing something similar. I sure hope so. But rumors. This is for real. This lady, she rejected it. It came back again. So basically what happened is that offer kept getting kicked around. Nobody's accepting it. Of course, they're being smart, right? Instead of chasing garbage like some of you do, no offense, but they were making smart choices. It kept getting kicked around. She ended up rejecting that thing 4 times, I believe. I could be wrong, but I remember she said it was multiple times. It was more than 2 or 3. So I want to say 4 times. Could be wrong, but pretty close. She got shut down for the day. So she was unable to access her app and do any more shopping that day, do any more Instacart. So for those of you that do Instacart, please send me an email, getcoachjake@gmail.com. I want to hear more about what's going on. I want to be able to inform everybody and help everyone in that sector out too, because that's just garbage what they're doing. I mean, another gig company just following the lead of Uber, Lyft, and all these guys, right? So anyhow, Instacart, watch out. If you reject those too many times, I want you to take screenshots, collect data, because that could be stuff used in a case later on against them, the way that they're manipulating you guys into accepting offers that you shouldn't. You're independent contractors. You should not be punished and shut down for simply rejecting an offer. Now, if you accept and they reassign, that's a different story. So I know Postmates, if you accept and reassign, first time I believe it's a 5-minute penalty. Then I believe it's like a 10-minute penalty the second time and a 30-minute penalty the third time. And I believe if you do it beyond that, you're shut down for the day. They could have changed that. That could be different. But that's a situation, an example, where if you do accept and reassign, you can reject as much as you can and want to. In GrubHub and some of these other, in our agreement and contract, it clearly states that we're allowed to reject whatever we don't deem, is necessary for us. So say that it's going to, I actually pretty sure there's actual federal law, and I'm going to look into that, and I'll get more information on that. But as far as like accepting offers where we're going to take a loss, we cannot run a business at a loss and keep accepting or being manipulated into it or forced into it by things like being shut down for the day. Now to the ugly. GrubHub has lost their minds with the driver care and a customer care deal. They're going to lose a lot of customers and some drivers with this nonsense. Before we were able to contact driver care, we had a phone number. Now you go and you're on hold forever. They don't have enough bodies in there. There's not enough. They're shutting down part of that sector, and they're reassigning people to handle customer care. There's a lot of changes. I'm going to wait till I have more information on that, and I'll give a lot of new insight to what's going on there. But now we have customer care that's dealing with a lot of these things. I had a delivery this last week where I could not contact the diner. There was no way to get to them. It was an apartment complex, a really nice high-end one, and there wasn't a condo number. So even though I couldn't get a hold of them, I couldn't even walk up and locate them to the condo, which I would have. Anyhow, good tip. They told me in the notes to call them when I arrived, and it would meet me in the front. So I called them a couple times and went right to voicemail. It rang a few times and went to voicemail. So I pretty much knew that what they did is they were hitting cancel. We know that after it rings a few times, pretty often when it goes right to voicemail, somebody, ended the call. And I get it. They're screening the calls, and you'll find out why in just a second here when I get to the end of the story. You'll see the actual text back. But I text message on top of the calls and no response. So then I start the call. I go ahead and I call driver care, the old number. I know it's going to take forever to get through. I start the chat process. You can see right here where I start the chat process and I let them know, okay, I've called 2 times and I've texted, can you please contact the diner? Like they used to do. So a lot of us that drive GrubHub, that then they would try and contact customer care on their end. There's been several times where I've done that, and they actually got through where I could. And I'm like, all right, for whatever reason, they don't answer my calls or texts, but sweet. Get them their food, I can move on. No big deal. I don't have to worry about getting calls from customer care or customers later. So now check this out. I was 18 behind in the list, and they get back to me, and they're asking me questions that I already answered. And it's like, I have a feature through the app where I let you know I cannot contact the diner, right? So I go in the menu, the drop-down menus. I hit, there's a problem, can't contact diner, and it goes right through. This person's freaking clueless. I mean, and then it's like, oh, I see. Now I see I'm talking to the driver. So you can see the different, it'll run through here on the left. I'll pop up these different screenshots of the interaction. But it blew my mind. I couldn't believe what was going on, because instead of contacting the diner, they canceled the order. Are you freaking kidding me? I'm trying to get this thing delivered. I mean, I already know I'm going to get paid, right? And I screenshot the payout to already show that I delivered, that I had it on there. I also screenshot everything in here to show that I was trying to do my part as far as, contract and deliver the food. I picked it up. I went to the residence. I called. I text. Document everything. When you're doing that, when you run into stuff like this, document everything to cover your behind, right? CYOA. So they cancel this order. There's nothing I can do. I finally get driver care on the phone. I don't even know if it was driver care. And there's nothing they can do. At this point, I can't get a hold of the customer. I can't deliver the food. So I move on, right? I'm boogieing home. I am home with the food. You can see right here. Excuse me, pardon me. We had some kung pao chicken, some spicy whatever. Yeah. Some extra chicken, some crab puffs, some good food, right? So anyone that likes Asian food, it was some really good Chinese food. We're digging in. I get this text back from the customer, right? I kind of feel bad because there I am eating their food, right? And it's like, hey, I don't buy the part about them saying that you'll bring the food and I'll get extra cash. They probably would, but not always. People do take advantage of a situation like that. They were on the phone. They were on another phone call. When they're waiting for their food, they get 2 calls through from the same number, plus a text message. We all know, I mean, you get the buzz. Must have been a very important phone call, man. I'm not going to judge them. Anyhow, they were on another phone call. They didn't answer my calls or my text message. And I'm already home digging into their food with my brother, and I get this text. So there's nothing I can do about it at that point. I got paid, got some food, right? So in the end, not bad. What was ugly was the interaction with customer care and driver care and how GrubHub was handling these situations where we can't get a hold of a diner. We all know that happens often enough where we're going to lose some customers quick, especially good ones, right? This person was most definitely a regular and a good tipper. So they canceled the order. I hope by GrubHub canceling it that they ate the cost on it. Anyhow, however that worked out, it's a bad deal for GrubHub and bad for us if it keeps happening. So GrubHub, get your stuff in order, man. Why don't you guys step your game up? You got DoorDash and all these other competitors coming in. Step your game up, GrubHub. We want to represent. We like you. But right now, we don't love you. Step it up. Anyhow, hope you guys, ladies, enjoy this video. Check me out on my website if you want to find out more about me, how I got into this business, my experience with all the rideshare and food delivery. GetCoachJake.com. Have a great day. Be safe out there. And remember, work hard, but always work smarter.